When children lie, parents get worried. But when children kill, parents are destroyed. What if your child was born without a conscience? In this twisted psychological thriller, a sweet little girl hides a deadly secret, and the father must decide whether to protect her daughter or stop a killer. So let's begin. At the very beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Emma staring out the window. Outside, a cat is struggling in the swimming pool, gasping for life. But Emma? She just stands there. No reaction, no emotion. She watches it drown and does absolutely nothing. Next, we learn that Emma lives with her father. We see her casually having breakfast with her dad like nothing ever happened. A little later, Emma's aunt arrives at the house and mentions they found her a new babysitter. Emma's previous babysitter, the one who used to look after her all the time, had a very strange accident. No one really knows how it happened. That's why her aunt decided to find someone new. While her dad and aunt are talking about this, Emma suddenly says, "The cat fell in the pool." Her dad rushes outside, pulls the poor, lifeless cat out of the water. But here's the creepy part. Emma shows zero emotion. No sadness, no regret. Just that same blank stare. She could have saved the cat, but she chose not to. And that's when you realize something is seriously wrong with this kid. Next, we see Emma's dad interviewing a new babysitter. The woman seems kind and well-mannered, so he decides to hire her. Meanwhile, Emma has applied for the school's merit award, something she desperately wants to win. At school, she's well-behaved, polite, friendly with all the kids, at least on the surface. One day, while playing outside with some classmates, a girl accidentally bumps into Emma and falls. Emma helps the girl up, smiling sweetly, but secretly slips the girl's watch off her wrist and pockets it. That evening, Emma stands in front of the mirror, rehearsing her smile, perfecting the image of an innocent little angel. The next day is the big merit award ceremony. Emma's dad dresses her in a beautiful outfit and takes her to school. Parents and teachers are gathered. The kids are excited. When the teacher announces the winner, it turns out that a boy named Milo won the award, not Emma. Emma is furious. Outside, she tells her dad that Milo didn't deserve the award. She badmouths him right there in front of her dad. Her dad scolds her, so she apologizes, but you can tell she's not really sorry. Later, while everyone is enjoying themselves, Emma takes Milo up to a nearby cliff, saying they should go for a walk. Milo heads toward the edge, looking down, and then he says, "Let's go back now." Emma slowly walks up in front of him, and suddenly the screen goes black. Moments later, Milo's parents run up to Emma and her dad, asking if they've seen their son. Emma calmly says she hasn't seen him in a while. Suddenly, a group of girls rushes from the cliffside, screaming for help. Milo's parents rush after them, only to find Milo's body in the water below. They try to revive him with CPR, but it's already too late. The next morning at breakfast, Emma's dad gently asks how she's feeling. After all, her classmate just died. Emma casually changes the subject, brushing it off without a trace of emotion. She doesn't seem sad at all. Later that day, the new babysitter moves into their home. At night, Emma secretly watches her snooping through her dad's medicine drawer, possibly stealing his medicines. Later, as they're watching TV together, Emma turns and says, "I know you stole my dad's medicine, but don't worry. If you do exactly what I say, I won't tell him." The babysitter is furious on the inside, but agrees to Emma's demand. The next day, Milo's funeral is held. His classmates are heartbroken, many of them crying their eyes out. Emma is there too, standing quietly in front of Milo's grieving parents, pretending to cry. She puts on quite the show, acting like she's absolutely devastated by his death. Later, as Emma's dad speaks with Milo's parents, Milo's mother casually mentions something strange. Milo's medal was missing from his body. That instantly catches Emma's dad off guard. He starts to feel uneasy. That night, while collecting Emma's clothes for laundry, he enters her room. Now we can see Milo's missing medal is hidden under Emma's bed. As Emma's dad bends down near the bed, Emma suddenly calls out to him. He quickly gets up, leaving the medal undiscovered. Still, something about Emma's behavior isn't sitting right with him. So later, he goes through the photos from the award ceremony again and again. In several shots, Emma is seen staring intensely at Milo's medal, with a strange, almost obsessive look in her eyes. The next day, Emma's teacher, Mrs. Ellis, shows up at their home with a police officer. She tells Emma's dad that several students saw Emma and Milo walking together toward the cliff that day. Meanwhile, Emma is hiding in the hallway, listening to everything. That night, her dad casually brings it up. "Did you go to the cliff with Milo that day?" Emma, cool as ever, replies, "No, I didn't." but her dad gently pushes back. "Some kids say they saw you there." Emma snaps, angrily responding, "Mrs. Ellis told you that, right? She doesn't even like me." The next day, Emma's babysitter unexpectedly shows up at her dad's workplace and asks if she can smoke a cigarette there, but he tells her no. This place is filled with chemical liquids that it's not safe to smoke here. Later that day, the babysitter takes Emma out to play, but when they return home, they spot Mrs. Ellis's car parked outside. She turns to Emma and says, "They filed a case against you at the police station. The police think you were with Milo right before he died." Inside the house, she tries to scare Emma even more. "If you really did something to that boy, the police might put you in the electric chair and shock you to death." Emma is stunned. Her face goes pale. You can see the fear building in her eyes, but still, she doesn't admit to anything. That evening, Emma's babysitter was looking everywhere for her, but Emma was nowhere to be found. Just then, we see something odd. A beehive has formed at their house. Meanwhile, Emma's teacher, Mrs. Ellis, is driving back home. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bee lands on her face. Distracted, she panics, and then it cuts to the back seat of her car, where there's an entire beehive placed inside. It turns out, Emma secretly planted the hive in her teacher's car. She wanted her teacher to crash and possibly die. Bees fill the car. Mrs. Ellis panics. Then we hear the horrible sound of screeching tires and a loud crash. Back at home, the babysitter is in Emma's room and notices something shocking: Milo's missing medal, hidden there. Quietly, she takes the medal and hangs it inside the lampshade in Emma's father's room, hoping he'll discover it and confront Emma. But Emma is always one step ahead. She sees the trap, grabs the medal, and hides it behind her back just before her dad walks in. Still, he knows something's not right. Later, he calmly sits Emma down and shows her the medal. He asks, "Where did you get this medal?" Emma doesn't panic. She makes up a story on the spot. "Milo gave it to me before he died." The next morning, Emma's dad is more suspicious than ever. On his way to work, he calls a psychologist. He wants Emma evaluated. But as he's driving, he sees police lights and an ambulance. There's been a crash. Meanwhile, Emma confronts the babysitter in a chilling tone. "Did you hang that medal inside the lamp?" She is very furious. Just then, her father returns home. He looks her in the eyes and says, "Come with me and bring the medal." They go to Milo's house. Emma hands the medal back to Milo's mother. But the moment she sees it, Milo's mom breaks down crying. She whispers, "How did Emma end up with this?" Then she tells Emma's dad the shocking news. Mrs. Ellis has died in a car accident. Emma stands quietly for a moment, then suddenly bursts into tears. "Mrs. Ellis was my favorite teacher," she cries. "I can't believe she's gone." But on the way home, she's suddenly cheerful again. She says she will bake cookies with the babysitter when she gets home. Her father is shaken. He watches her, smiling and cheerful, as if nothing ever happened. And for the first time, he realizes something is very, very wrong. The next day, while Emma's dad is working at the outhouse, he notices something strange. Just 2 days ago, there was a big beehive in the yard, but now it's completely gone. That's when he starts to wonder, could Emma have been involved in Miss Ellis's death too? Worried, he takes Emma to see a psychiatrist. After talking to Emma for a little while, the psychiatrist tells him, "Emma seems totally normal, just like any other kid. I don't see any problem." But the truth is, Emma had tricked the psychiatrist too with her sweet and innocent words. The next day, the babysitter Chloe tells Emma, "If you want, I could be your stepmother. Your dad also likes me." Hearing this, Emma gets really angry. She runs to her dad and says, "Chloe told me she wants to be my stepmom. Do you like her too?" But her dad doesn't answer and quietly walks away. Later that night, while Chloe is watching TV, she hears a strange noise coming from the outhouse. She goes outside to look for Emma and sees a shadow moving inside. As she follows it and steps into the outhouse, the main door suddenly slams shut behind her. Now she's completely locked in. Then, out of nowhere, fire breaks out inside the shed. Chloe looks out the window and sees Emma standing outside, watching silently. So that means Emma had set the fire. Chloe tries desperately to break the window and escape, but the flames catch her clothes. She burns to death right there in the outhouse. When Emma's dad sees the fire, he immediately calls the firefighters. They arrive quickly and put out the flames, but it's already too late. Chloe is dead. Emma's dad is very heartbroken. He goes to Emma's room and hopelessly asks her, "Did you push Milo that day?" But Emma stays silent. After a pause, her dad says, "I'll do everything I can to protect you, but you have to be honest with me." Finally, Emma admits that yes, she did push Milo from the cliff. Then her dad asks about the previous babysitter. Emma says, "She got really angry and grabbed my arm hard, so I pushed her down the stairs." At last, her dad asks about Chloe. Emma gets very angry. She yells, "She was trying to become my stepmom, so I killed her too." true. Now her dad finally realizes the truth. Emma was behind all the deaths that had happened recently. He's in shock. He can't believe that his little girl has done such terrible things. Emma starts crying and says, "I promise I won't do anything bad again." But now her dad is terrified. He doesn't know what to believe or say anymore. The next day, a police inspector calls Emma's dad and says, "We want to talk to Emma." This makes her dad panic. He's scared, thinking that they'll arrest her, so he lies and tells the police Emma is sick right now. Then, to protect her, he takes Emma far away to a quiet lake house. When they arrive, the housekeeper warmly welcomes them. That day, the police inspector calls Emma's dad again. He tells him that the fire at his workplace wasn't an accident. It was set on purpose. Emma's dad becomes even more scared. For his own protection, he keeps a gun with him. Deep down, he thinks if it ever comes down to it, he'll use the gun to protect Emma. But that same night, Emma secretly turns on all the gas burners in the kitchen. Then she locks all the doors and windows, hoping her dad will die in a gas explosion. After setting it all up, Emma walks outside. Luckily, her dad wakes up in the middle of the night. As soon as he smells the gas, he jumps out of bed and quickly opens all the windows and doors. When he sees Emma standing outside, he realizes that Emma tried to kill him. He walks up to her and asks, "Why did you do this?" Emma answers coldly, "If you die, I can go live with my aunt. She loves me more." Hearing this, her dad doesn't know what to say. He just silently takes Emma back into the house. That night, he mixes a sleeping drug into Emma's hot chocolate and gives her to drink. But a few moments later, when he is asleep, Emma is suddenly standing in front of him holding the gun. She shoots at him, but thankfully, the bullet misses and hits the corner of a pillow. The sound wakes her dad up. He is very confused and asks, "How are you still awake?" Emma says, "I knew you drugged my hot chocolate, so I switched our cups." She tries to shoot him again, but this time, her dad grabs the gun from her hands. Emma quickly runs into the bathroom and locks the door. She calls 911 and tells the police, "My dad is trying to kill me." Meanwhile, the housekeeper hears the gunshot and rushes to the scene. He sees Emma crying inside the bathroom and her dad standing outside holding a gun. So the housekeeper assumes her dad is trying to hurt Emma. Then, in a heartbreaking moment, Emma's dad turns the gun on him and shoots himself. Seeing this, Emma screams and cries loudly. The next day, her aunt comes to take Emma with her. She hugs Emma and says, "Your dad was mentally unstable. He kept telling everyone you were the one hurting people." But how could that be true? It's clear that Emma's aunt completely trusts her, and we see a cunning look at Emma's face. And with that, the movie ends here. So what did you think about this movie and my explanation? Let me know in the comments. And if you were in Emma's dad's place, what would you have done? How would you have handled the situation? I really want to hear your thoughts. I'm always waiting to read your comments, so feel free to drop your suggestions too. Tell me how I can make my videos even better, because this channel is all about you. I'll try my best to make content just the way you like it. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye bye, and I love you all.